Hello, welcome back to the Berkshire Hathaway Annual Shareholders Meeting 2021. I'm Andy Serwer, and I'm here with Ron Olson, who is a Berkshire Hathaway director and also partner with Munger, Tolles, and Olson. Ron, great to see you.
Andy, great to see you, and great to see you in Los Angeles.
Thank you, Ron.
My recollection is we usually encounter each other on an airplane headed to Omaha at this time of year.
That's right. Things are very different. So let's jump off of that point, Ron. What are you looking for this year that's different from prior years? We have the different geography for sure.
Well, let me tell you what I'm looking for that is the same, and that's the Charlie and Warren show. To me, it's irreplaceable, and it is the delight and most meaningful part of the meeting. In addition, it's nice to have an excuse to be in Omaha. Be in Los Angeles. I also look forward to returning to Omaha next year. And having all the managers around and all the fun that we do, these virtual things are a good substitute, but not as much fun.
Right. So this year is a bit of a hybrid. No shareholders, but we do have
a few of us are shareholders.
Right, that's true. The directors are shareholders. But basically this room right here is going to have the directors in it, and you can see the stage, as it were, is up there where Warren and Charlie, and I can see Greg Abel's already up there.
Greg is there, and Jeet will be there, and Warren and Charlie, and they've got a bank of cameras in front of them, and there's a place where Becky Quick's going to be sitting off screen probably, but it's I think worked out very, very well.
Right, and the company just announced results this morning, Ron. What do you make of those, and how's the business going?
Well, up is the big companies that Warren features in his letter each year. Energy company and insurance businesses and so on. They're doing sensational, just sensational, and we have every reason to believe that climb is going to continue. Now, by and large, insurance throughout the pandemic period has done very, very well. And so did the energy business and BNSF. They held up very well. Some of the retail businesses they were very seriously hurt during the pandemic. And those that had a lot invested in the mall access, I think particularly so. And so those are climbing, but not, they're not out of the hole. It's going to be a long haul, I think, for some of the businesses. But by and large, I'm very, very pleased with what we're doing.
What is it like being a director of Berkshire Hathaway? How often do you talk? How often does Warren Buffett talk to you guys? And what is the communication like? What's it like behind the scenes?
Well, we have basically 2 big in-person meetings a year, and then a number of other director meetings during the course of the year, often depending upon particular circumstances, an acquisition or something like that. In addition to that, I think Warren's a communicator. Charlie's a communicator. And of course, with Charlie, he's in Los Angeles, and he and I talk often. Warren and I tend to talk on Sundays, and he does that with other directors throughout the year. He's on the phone with the managers all the time. So there's a lot of communication in this company. Communication up, communication down, a lot of transparency.
Sundays, huh? It sounds like you're working 7 days a week here.
Yeah, anytime you're talking to Warren, you're having fun.
Right. You got, we talked about Ajit Jain and Greg Abel up there on the stage, and I have to ask you about succession. People always ask that, but is there anything that we need to know in that department?
Well, you haven't missed that succession question, as I remembered, about the last 4 years with me. People talk about succession planning, and I think you could look at the fact that we have 2 new vice chairmen in the last few years with expanded responsibilities. Jeet throughout the insurance businesses and Greg throughout the non-insurance businesses. you could look on that as succession planning. You could look on our two great investors that have been brought in, Ted and Todd, as succession planning. Me, I like to describe it as management extension. There's no question that the activities of Greg and Ajit, the two T's, have given new, in my opinion, new opportunities for Warren and Charlie to continue doing what they do so well. And, Greg does a lot more traveling than Warren does these days to the respective businesses. Mm-hmm. Now, if you ask Warren any question about any of the businesses, he's got it on the tip of his tongue, reading all the time. Mm-hmm. But in terms of, showing up for the celebration of the 10th anniversary of the CEO or something, Greg is more often going to be there. Although I know Warren, we lost a great one of our managers, Paul Andrews, for TTI just in the last few weeks. And I know Warren was at that funeral with Greg. But it is, in my mind, why would we want to throw away the lifetime of experience these two guys have had and bring to bear on every important judgment this company makes? So there's no replacement timetable. Every meeting we directors talk about succession. If something happened tomorrow, we know exactly what we're going to do, but that's about as far as I go with this question. Okay. And I would say this, that, look at how, in addition to the two vice chairs, the way this company operates, it's created management that have had the experience of being their own business bosses. Right. And so it's a great way to grow talent, in my opinion, as well as to grow the company.
Quick last question, Ron. Anything that we should know about the shareholder proposals that are being put forth today?
I don't think anything that isn't in our proxy. I'm confident that our shareholders are going to back our recommendations. But, there's all of that is being presented. You take climate change. We take that seriously. And you look at what the utilities are doing, you look at what BNSF are doing. We got lots of examples out there of us becoming more efficient, adding, I think, to the strength of our companies. And I think they will be defeated, but that's for us to find out later today.